In a small town, there lived a veteran named Jack Thompson. After serving in the military for over a decade, Jack returned home to start fresh and rebuild his life. He was proud of his service, having fought bravely for the country he loved, and now he dreamed of opening a local cafe to share his passion for cooking with the community. Jack was known for his warm heart and willingness to help others. Whether it was volunteering at the local shelter or offering guidance to younger veterans, he always aimed to make a positive impact. However, managing day-to-day expenses while pursuing his dream cafe was not easy. Jack relied heavily on his bank account for everything from rent to groceries. One bright Tuesday morning, as Jack prepared to buy supplies for the week, he noticed something strange when he tried to withdraw some money. To his shock, the bank had frozen his account without any warning. Confused and worried, Jack wondered how he could possibly manage without access to his funds. Thoughts raced through his head. How would he pay his bills? What if he couldn't afford ingredients for his cafe? Feeling anxious, Jack grabbed his phone and tried to call the bank's customer service line. He hoped that someone could explain why this happened and help him resolve the issue quickly before it spiraled out of control. Little did he know that just moments later, an unexpected visitor would walk into the bank with the power to change everything. As Jack sat anxiously in his small kitchen, he couldn't shake the feeling of dread that accompanied the news about his frozen account. He had always been careful with his finances, but a recent misunderstanding at the bank was now complicating his life dramatically. It all began a week earlier when Jack had received a call from the bank. A representative informed him that there was some suspicious activity linked to his account. They mentioned a transaction that appeared out of place, leading to their decision to temporarily freeze it for security reasons. Jack, confused, insisted that he hadn't made any unusual purchases and suggested it might have been an error. However, despite his explanations, the bank staff followed protocol and decided to take action without fully investigating the situation. Unfortunately, this meant that Jack's account would remain frozen until further notice as they conducted their review. The timing couldn't have been worse for him. With bills due and supplies needed for his cafe dream, he felt helpless. Frustration welled inside him as he replayed the call in his mind. How could they not see that he was just trying to get back on his feet? As Jack dialed the customer service line again, his heart sank at the thought of being trapped in this frustrating situation while struggling to pursue his dreams. Little did he know that the resolution to this crisis was only moments away. When Jack realized his bank account was frozen, a wave of panic washed over him. His heart raced as he thought about all the expenses piling up: rent, utilities, and the ingredients he needed for his cafe. Just yesterday, he had made a list of supplies to buy, and now, without access to his funds, those plans felt like dreams slipping through his fingers. Sitting on a worn-out chair in his tiny kitchen, Jack felt the weight of stress pulling at him. How was he supposed to buy food for the week? The thought of having to ask friends for help made him feel embarrassed. He had always prided himself on being independent and self-sufficient, especially after serving in the military. Now, he felt vulnerable, as if something so simple as a bank account could determine his entire future. He grabbed his phone again and dialed the customer service number, feeling frustration bubbling inside him. He went through all the options, hoping to speak to someone who could understand his plight. As he waited on hold, images of his cafe filled his mind, the delicious pastries he wanted to create and the warm atmosphere he hoped to offer the community. Each second felt like an hour as he replayed his situation over and over. Jack took a deep breath to steady himself. No matter what happened, he reminded himself that challenges were part of life. He just needed to keep pushing forward and find a way to resolve this nightmare. Little did he know that help was just around the corner. Jack took a deep breath and picked up his phone, determined to resolve the problem with his frozen account. He began dialing the customer service number, trying to calm his racing thoughts. As he listened to the ringing sound, he mentally prepared himself to explain his situation clearly and succinctly. After what felt like forever, a cheerful voice finally answered. Jack explained that his account had been frozen due to alleged suspicious activity and how this had thrown his life into chaos. He expected understanding and a swift resolution, But instead, he encountered a series of automated prompts that left him feeling even more frustrated. "Please press 1 for account inquiries, 2 for new accounts," echoed in his ears. Jack bumbled through the options, each press of a button taking him further away from what he needed to achieve. Finally, after navigating through the maze of menu choices, he was placed on hold yet again. As he waited, Jack's anxiety mounted. What if he missed an important payment? What if the cafe dream started to fade before it even began? He glanced at the clock nervously, each minute feeling like an eternity. When a representative finally came on the line, Jack tried his best to stay calm, but he couldn't help feeling that they viewed him as just another account issue rather than a person in need. After explaining everything once more, he found himself stuck when a representative mentioned they could not assist him immediately because their system required updates. Disappointment washed over him. He was back where he started, hopeless and anxious, desperate for a breakthrough. Meanwhile, just a few minutes away, the CEO of the bank, Margaret Lawson, was preparing for her visit. Known for her hands-on leadership style, Margaret believed in connecting with customers and understanding their needs. That day, she had planned to meet with her team to discuss upcoming initiatives aimed at improving customer service and addressing feedback from clients. As she entered the bank's bustling lobby, Margaret noticed the staff were unusually tense. Her instincts kicked in. She could sense that something was off. After exchanging pleasantries with a few employees, she learned about the ongoing issue with a veteran's account being frozen due to a misunderstanding. The staff expressed concern about how this situation was affecting Jack Thompson, who had been trying desperately to resolve it. Taking immediate action, Margaret decided to investigate further. She was well aware of the impact a frozen account could have on someone's life, especially for a veteran trying to start new. Margaret felt a deep sense of responsibility to ensure that customers like Jack felt valued and cared for by the bank. Determined to make a difference and resolve the crisis swiftly, she headed towards the account management department. As she walked through the halls, she mentally prepared herself to address Jack's situation. Little did he know that help was finally on its way. Someone with the authority and desire to reinstate his account was stepping in at just the right moment. As Margaret Lawson approached the account management department, she felt an urgency in her step. She was determined to address Jack Thompson's situation immediately. Knowing how crucial a bank account was for anyone, especially a veteran trying to rebuild his life, Margaret understood that this was not just a business issue. It was a matter of human dignity and trust. Upon reaching the office, she quickly gathered the staff and asked for details regarding the frozen account. They explained that it had been flagged due to unusual activity, but the potential error had not been thoroughly investigated before they took action. Margaret listened carefully, her heart heavy with concern for Jack. She could imagine the stress and helplessness he felt as he tried to navigate this obstacle. With a firm voice, she announced her decision. "We need to reinstate Mr. Thompson's account immediately." Her tone left no room for discussion. Margaret believed that swift action would not only help Jack, but also send a strong message about the bank's commitment to its customers. It was important for her to demonstrate that they valued their clients and were willing to correct mistakes when they happened. She instructed her team to prioritize Jack's case and ensure that his funds were accessible without further delay. As she walked away from the meeting, Margaret felt a sense of relief wash over her. She knew that correcting this mistake would make a significant difference in Jack's life, allowing him to focus on his dreams instead of worrying about financial instability. Within minutes of Margaret Lawson's decision, the atmosphere in the bank shifted. The account management team leapt into action, driven by a sense of urgency to fix Jack's situation. They quickly reviewed the details of his account and ensured that the necessary steps were taken to lift the freeze. As they worked, a palpable sense of relief began to fill the room. Everyone understood the implications of what was happening. Just a short time later, Jack received a phone call from the bank. He answered, still feeling anxious about what the outcome would be. "Mr. Thompson," the voice on the other end said, "we're pleased to inform you that your account has been reinstated." For a moment, Jack was silent, processing the news. "I can access my funds?" he finally asked, hope creeping back into his voice. Yes, absolutely. You can now use your account as normal, the representative replied cheerfully. A wave of relief washed over Jack, lifting a heavy burden from his shoulders. He could hardly believe it. The nightmare that had consumed him moments before had turned into joy. As he hung up the phone, tears of gratitude pricked at his eyes. He could pay his bills and buy supplies for his cafe without fear. With renewed determination, Jack felt a sense of empowerment returning. No longer held back by worry, he could finally focus on pursuing his dreams and turning them into reality. As the news of Jack's account reinstatement spread through the bank, employees exchanged relieved glances, realizing the importance of what had just occurred. There was a palpable shift in the atmosphere. Staff members felt a renewed sense of purpose and pride in their roles. Many had witnessed Jack's struggle and empathized with the situation, understanding how quickly things could change for someone in need. The team that had worked on Jack's case felt particularly gratified by Margaret Lawson's decisive action. They admired her commitment to customer care and were inspired by her leadership. A few employees whispered to each other how refreshing it was to see a CEO who truly took charge and made meaningful decisions. "She really cares about us and our clients," one assistant remarked, nodding in agreement as they returned to their tasks with newfound enthusiasm. Meanwhile, others reflected on how important it was for banks to maintain strong relationships with their customers, especially those like Jack who faced hardships. They understood that a single mistake could have far-reaching consequences and vowed to improve their communication processes to avoid similar situations in the future. Motivated by the positive outcome, staff members began brainstorming ways to enhance customer service further. Ideas flowed as they discussed implementing training sessions focused on empathy and better problem-solving strategies for handling sensitive situations. The experience not only strengthened their bond as a team, but also reinforced their commitment to supporting their customers, ensuring that every voice would be heard moving forward. The incident involving Jack Thompson's frozen account brings to light significant implications for both veterans and other bank customers. For many, especially those who have served in the military, financial stability is crucial for reintegration into civilian life. This situation illustrates how a single error or misunderstanding can lead to severe repercussions for individuals striving to rebuild their lives, underscoring the need for banks to adopt more empathetic and efficient practices. Customers watching this unfold may feel a renewed sense of anxiety about their own accounts. It emphasizes the importance of clear communication and thorough investigation before taking drastic actions like freezing accounts. Many might now question how robust the bank's customer service truly is and whether they would receive adequate support if faced with a similar situation. Moreover, Jack's experience highlights the potential consequences of automated systems that prioritize efficiency over personal connections. While technology can streamline processes, it can also create hurdles when human sensitivity is needed most. Banks must find a balance between automation and personalized service. In the aftermath of this event, there's an opportunity for banks to reassess their policies and training programs. Emphasizing empathy, understanding, and proactive communication can help build trust between institutions and their customers. For veterans and others like Jack, knowing that their bank values them as individuals rather than just account numbers can make all the difference in regaining their footing in life. In the end, Jack Thompson's experience with the frozen account became a pivotal moment in his life. The swift action taken by CEO Margaret Lawson and the bank staff not only resolved his immediate financial crisis, but also restored his faith in the banking system. With access to his funds reinstated, Jack could finally breathe a sigh of relief, enabling him to focus on his dream of opening a cafe rather than worrying about unpaid bills. This incident serves as a powerful reminder of the impact that quick and compassionate responses can have on individuals in need. It highlights how important it is for banks to prioritize customer care and to recognize the unique challenges faced by veterans and others navigating difficult situations. Jack, filled with gratitude, understood that support often comes from unexpected places and can significantly alter one's path. Moreover, The experience reinforced within the bank community an awareness of their responsibility toward customers. Employees reflected on their roles in fostering a supportive environment and acknowledged that they could be key players in making a positive difference in someone's life. The commitment to improvement sparked by this event could lead to lasting changes that enhance customer service overall. As Jack moves forward, he carries with him not just the hope of fulfilling his cafe dream, but also a newfound appreciation for those who act quickly in times of need. In moments of crisis, it is often the caring actions of others that light the way forward, reminding him that resilience is strengthened by community support.